make me laugh, don't you?
Well, this is episode 9 now.
It is. It is. I mean, I can't believe we've done so many, and we were over 500,000 views. So we'd like to thank everyone for that.
Absolutely.
And also, I think we've got nearly 400 followers, and our Instagram is building. So every moment we're getting bigger. Well, not physically, but I hope not. Anyway.
No. So like and subscribe if you're watching. Make sure you do that. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you're aware, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we're sort of trying to get everybody to check their breasts. And if you don't know how, Dr. Zoe Williams, who I did the Full Monty on Ice last year, this time last year actually, she on her Instagram, she shows you how to check yourself. But there's so many places you can look to see how. Do you check yourself, Debbie?
I'm a bit of a bad girl, I'm afraid. Not really. I feel I know I suppose possibly I might just sort of touch my breast, most days, in the shower. So I feel that I'm always aware of how they look and how they feel. And I'm sure that if there was something, that bothered me, I would find out. But I suppose I should. I know that everybody needs to. And there is different sorts of breast cancer that can affect you at different ages, premenopausal, postmenopausal, and all of that lot. So there's lots of reasons to do it.
I do check myself quite regularly because I quite regularly get lumps.
Do you?
Yeah, I've had about 9 or 10. But they are benign cysts that I have drained off with the needle. My doctor, who deals with my breast, he always says, don't ever ignore them. Don't assume it's a benign cyst because it might not be. So always come back. So I had 3 drained last year, but it's quite quick and quite simple. But the very first time I found one, I absolutely panicked. And I like a lot of women, went into denial, and I didn't want to tell anyone, and I didn't want to go and see the doctor, and I didn't want to know about it, just wanted it to go away. But eventually I went to the doctor, and I was so relieved when they said it was nothing. So you really shouldn't ignore these lumps. And
when did this happen, Linda? When did this happen? After you'd had your kids? When did you get your first lump?
I don't know. I think it was to do with the menopause. It kind of, all your hormones go all over the place. And during the menopause is when I got the first few. And I'm sure and they said once you've gone through the menopause, they'll probably stop coming. But I went on to HRT. So I think that's why they've carried on. I think if I'd have gone through the menopause and come out the other side of it, they probably wouldn't happen anymore. So I, like a lot of people, put a note in my phone once a month to check my breasts, and I do it properly, lying in bed with your arm up and all around your breast, pressing like this. And it doesn't take 5 minutes, and it's just peace of mind, really.
Well, everybody should do it. It's also menopause month this month, so National Menopause Month. So I suppose it's all very connected, and the way you look is so connected to your hormones anyway.
But one of the side effects, obviously, from having the treatment, if you do get cancer, is losing your hair, losing your eyebrows, losing your eyelashes, and I think for a lot of women that takes away their identity.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, you lose everything about you that makes you a woman. You lose your boobs and your hair, which is the things that make you feel sexy and make you feel alive. That's who you are. And to lose those must be the worst thing. And these wonderful permanent makeup artists who help you, at least with your eyebrows and your boobs and everything else, they are just incredible. But also, permanent makeup is very good just to have anyway for lazy people like me.
Like you, yeah. But I know we're going to talk to a lovely lady in a minute. And, I can't believe the reconstruction of nipples that they can do if you've had a mastectomy. Incredible. It is. So why don't we take a look?
Did you say a vasectomy?
A mastectomy. Not a vasectomy. I don't think they can do tattoos to help that.
But yes, they are completely and utterly brilliant, these artists. They really are. And it's amazing how long I suppose it took people time to do that. But of course, it makes total sense, doesn't it?
Well, we're going to talk to Tracy Giles in a minute, and do have a look at her website, because the before and afters are amazing. You can't tell that they're not real nipples. And that does just finish it off for a woman when they've gone through the treatment. They've had a mastectomy, they've had a reconstruction, They've got boobs, but no nipples. It's just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And Tracy Giles is just brilliant. Well, here she is to talk to us. Tracy, we are so thrilled that you've joined us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Nice to meet you, Tracy. Tell me, how long have you been doing permanent makeup?
Well, it's sort of the age where if I say I've been doing it for a very long time, I sound extremely old. But if I say or an expert, one or the other, around 20 years, 21 years. But I've been in the beauty industry forever. So, yeah, I've been doing it a long time.
So what do you think, Tracy, what do you think are the benefits? I mean, it's great waking up looking like you're not half asleep and terrible, but what more are the benefits of permanent makeup, do you think?
So it's really a kind of lifestyle choice now for a lot of women. It's the convenience factor. It's quite hard to put a good eyeliner on every day or good eyebrows on every day. And also things like with our lips, they get paler as we get older. So it gives you like definition, a little bit more. You just look fresher each day. And, it gives people a lot of confidence having it done. And I think it's so refined now that, it is a lifestyle option for many, many women, both professional women and women that are home with kids as well, and for everyone really.
And have you seen the trends change? Is it all eyebrows now? Everyone coming for eyebrows?
It starts with eyebrows. I think that's the biggest bugbear. People don't like their eyebrows very much often, or they just don't do what you want them to do. And you look at magazines and you think, why can't my eyebrows look like that? But it generally, when people come in, they have their eyebrows done, then they see the other things we're doing. And we've got a couple of world champions working in the team here as well, that do the most incredible lip work and eyeliners and things like that. So it's kind of a slippery slope. I always say to the clients when they come in, this is a slippery slope. You're going to end up with all of it done, and they generally
Well, I'm going to have some done in a couple of weeks' time on my eyes. I'm going to have the eyeliner done, and I can't wait. And then we'll come back and we'll see you again, and we can talk about that. I can't wait to do that. But what I'm fascinated about, two things I need to ask you about permanent makeup. So many years ago, I had permanent makeup. I had it done inside my eye actually as an eyeliner, which it was incredible because it meant when I went swimming, my eyes looked sort of made up. But what I find very interesting is that when I had my eyebrows tattooed, when I had them done, and I've had them, what's it called, microbladed or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
Yes, the grey hair still comes through.
You have to pluck them out.
Do you know something? So many of my clients do that, and I can't get that, because obviously it's not going to stop your hair growing the colour it grows. So I usually have to send people off to Harrods or wherever it is on the corner and get themselves a tinted brow gel, because it is a pain when we get grey eyebrows, right? So it's, it can't do that, but it can definitely give you definition behind the grey brows, and then you can just either tint them or use a tinted brow mascara.
I found that my brows, they've gone sort of smoky. What happens? Why don't they last that long?
So it's never meant to last forever, and in fact, bad permanent makeup does last forever because it's too deep. So the skill of the artist is to actually get it into what we call working high in the skin, working light in the skin. When you say smoky, we call that migration in our industry. It's where the pigment actually migrates into the skin. And that's because some skins are not really good at holding the pigment in place. Sometimes they blur, and that can be various things. It could be that you've got an oily skin, or if you've had sun damage, you've got sun damage on the skin. There's various reasons, but there are usually ways of getting hair strokes to remain in the skin. It's just a case of adapting. Maybe it's microblading or with a needle. But you're quite right. Over a period of time, it can blur in the skin. So for that reason, we work high in the skin and encourage our clients to come back every year, just under a year, so we can keep it really crisp and fresh looking.
And is it basically you're just having it tattooed, aren't you? It's the same principle as tattooing.
Yeah, it is a tattoo. Yeah. If ever you push colour into a skin with a blunt needle, even if it's a gravel stain on the knee, it's pushed through the skin. That, by definition, is actually a tattoo.
So would you take us through from top to bottom what you can have done on your face?
Right. From the very top, you can have hair density.
Oh yeah, of course you can have your hairline done, can't you?
Yeah.
Oh
so
wow.
You can have hair densification. A lot of women, feel they're quite fine there, and actually guys, they can have all of their scalp done. In fact, so there's hair densification, coming down eyebrows. eyeliners, and for each area there are so many different methods and so many different effects and techniques. Depends what the client likes. Coming down further, we've got lips. Down a bit further, there's breast work. So we used to have lap dancers in that wanted them darker, but likewise we also have people in that have surgery, whether it's for cancer or just mastoplexes and uplifts, and they want the scars disguised. So I'm not going to go down a lot further than that, but you can do hair stimulation wherever.
What can you do even further? I mean, please.
Yeah, we're trying to get rid of the hairs down there, not tattoo them back on.
Not so popular these days, I must be honest. They maybe go to the laser clinic up the road.
Oh,
yeah, I'm dying to know about the lip tattoo, because I've been seeing, because it's a colour, isn't it? How do you do that? Who thought of that? Where does this come from? So many questions.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So we used to have like railway tracks around the lips. We used to have a lip liner, and I always used to think it looked ridiculous. It does look crazy, I think.
Yeah.
So now it tends to be just a pixelation of colour. So if I was to say to somebody lip tattooing, they'd probably think Michael Jackson. And you think you get this awful image of his lips, yeah? That was a proper tattoo in a lip, and that's not what we do. So our work tends to be literally a flush of cut, like a very luminous tint over the lips. And what that helps to do is liven the lips up, make the shape look better, but it's not a hard amount of colour. So that if you just pop some lip gloss on it, it just kind of springs to life. But if you don't do that and you wake up in the morning, it doesn't look like you forgot to take your makeup off the day before. It can look really natural and just really pretty.
And if somebody has it done and they really hate it, or they have the eyebrows and go, oh no, I can't, is it reversible?
It is reversible, but it's tricky. It is tricky. And that's why it's really important to actually really have that good, first of all, have confidence in where you're going. Make sure you're seeing genuine pictures, because often people use like most social media now to actually showcase their pictures. So make sure that they're genuine pictures. A long discussion with an experienced artist to go through exactly, so you make sure you're getting what you want. I mean, we will provide that for them, for clients that come in, but at the end of the day, the hardest client to treat is one that doesn't really know what they want. So it's just important that we get it absolutely right for every client that comes in.
I think the thing is, you've got to tell Miss Lusardi this, because we've had a conversation about this before. And she said she didn't want to have her eyebrows done because she didn't want to wake up in the morning looking like Groucho Marx.
Well, no, I know when I've got no makeup on, that because my eyebrows are a bit finer and a bit thinner, it matches my bare face. Whereas if I've just made up my eyebrows and I've got no makeup on, it doesn't look balanced.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. And you know what I would say to you in that case, you need really fine hair strokes, so that we could just maybe augment, put a few hairs in between the hairs you've got, just to densify them slightly and pull them, manipulate them into the shape you might like. If you have them shaded or dusted through, that would look more like, you've put your makeup on. That's more of a sort of editorial, stronger look. So maybe some fine hair strokes look really good. Yeah, and especially as we do get a little bit older. I mean, the hairs are definitely impacted on our brow area. I mean, certainly, on postmenopausal, when you go through that the estrogen levels decline, and it affects the eyebrow hairs, which is why you see a lot of ladies don't have the tail end of their eyebrows. That's directly impacted by going through that hormonal change in our body.
Well, I think I'm lucky there, because mine were like black slugs when I was younger. So even with them falling out, I've still got plenty there, thank goodness.
You've got good eyebrows. I don't believe that for one moment.
Do you find it gives women more confidence once they've had their face done?
100%. I think as you get a little bit older, you start to feel a bit invisible. You start to feel a little bit different about yourself, and it definitely gives you that sort of more wide awake, and it just makes you feel fresher. So yeah, that's a very positive thing for us girls. It gives us a lot of confidence. I hear it all the time.
I mean, I love my eyebrows being tattooed, and I love them being microbladed. I've had them both. I've had it done both ways, and I do like it. And even with the migration, as you call it, I can still see the lines. So it's very easy for me to make myself up. So being, because my eyes have gone as well, it's kind of nice to still see the line there, so I can still get made up. But I think a lot of people will be worried, Tracy, about how painful this is. Can you tell us, is the lips, are they the eyes, the eyeliner? I mean, how do they do that without being painful?
Well, the reality is it would be really uncomfortable if we didn't use an anaesthetic cream. It's minimal discomfort. I mean, some people genuinely fall asleep when I'm tattooing them.
Really?
They really do. They're pushing
Wow.
out the Z's literally when I'm doing their eyebrows. Not so much with the eyes. I'm not, definitely not the eyes, but the eyebrows, yeah.
So is it a very expensive thing to have done?
I think that what we do is very good value. They come to us because we're known for doing that, and we will guarantee to give a great finish. But there are a lot of places offering the treatment that are frankly scary, and it's your face after all. It's quite traumatic if it goes wrong and you can't get it out. So to have it lasered or removed with solution, and it's often a multi-procedure process to get that done as well. So you kind of want it right from the beginning, and that's the ideal scenario.
Yeah, I think my mother used to say cheap is dear.
Can be, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the work that you do with breast reconstruction is absolutely fantastic. It's so clever, isn't it? I mean,
I've seen some of the things on television. You can't tell that they're not real nipples. You really can't.
Right, it's amazing. And the annoying thing about all of that is that we do this fabulous work for people that have breast cancer or radical surgery. And when you try and post this work to raise awareness, we get shadow banned on Instagram, like for nudity. And it's such a valuable thing. And it's it's often the finishing part of somebody's recovery from a horrible disease, know. So, but the work is amazing.
Of course, to have your eyebrows done as well and have your boobs done, it brings you back, doesn't it? It's a lot of people poo-poo all of this as sort of like, oh, it's just it's just treatment, it's just you're being so vain, but it actually isn't. The most important part about being a woman is are your boobs, I think, and your hair and all of this lot. So when you have that breast cancer treatment and you lose those vital things, what you're doing, the work that you do is really, really important.
It's massively important, and it's actually what people don't consider is they know they're going to lose their hair often with lots of the times the first or second round of chemotherapy, but they can lose their eyelashes and their eyebrows as well. And that's profound. That effect is profound. So quite often women will come in and we will, I'll try and make their eyebrows look as similar as possible, but maybe better, go through their lash line as well, so that when their hair does come off or they choose to shave the hair off, whatever it is they're going to do, they're not quite as, they don't feel quite as shocked by the radical change in their appearance. And, that's I think that really takes people to a lot of dark places as well. I mean, speaking to many, many women, I think that funnily enough, it's actually their eyelashes that seem to hurt more than anything, losing those, because I don't think a lot of women actually factor that in to the entire thing that goes on for them.
It's absolutely fascinating. Thank you so much, Tracy. I know so much more about it now. Anything else you wanted to add, Debbie? Or
no, I just wanted to say thank you so much. I'm a massive fan, and I can't wait. I'm coming in a couple of weeks, so I shall see you. Hopefully,
I look forward to meeting you then. I really do.
Yeah. And then we'll come back. We'll come back and we'll revisit it, and I'll show you what I've had done, and then we can possibly talk Linda into getting her eyebrows done.
I'd love to do Linda's eyebrows. Come and see me, Linda. I'll do them for you.
I will. I'll come and film Debbie having hers done, and I'll have a look at what you do. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.
Well, honestly, do check out her website, because the before and after on those nipples is amazing. I mean, she's amazing, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these artists are amazing. But the thing is, when you lose your hair, Linda, I mean, that's what happened to you. That must be one of the worst things ever. Because I remember my mom, she had an overactive thyroid and she didn't know what was wrong with her. And I remember her washing her hair and saying literally clumps of it were coming out in the sink. And she was terrified. And I can't think of anything that's worse when that happens to you.
No, I mean, after COVID, it's post viral trauma or something it's called. Now, I should imagine there's thousands of people that have had COVID out there that have had the same symptoms, that your hair is just coming out in the shower, and you've got normal breakages, don't you, and you get a plug full of hair anyway, but it's bits and pieces. This was full length hairs coming out, quite clumpy. Even my daughter, who's 25, was losing her hair after having COVID, so it was a worry. And I've always had extensions, and because of lockdown and everything, they had to go. So my hair looked absolutely dreadful. So for me, it was awful, because my hair's always been a big statement for me. So my beautiful hairdresser, Jennifer, who does my extensions, also does some amazing work for people that have lost their hair having treatment, children and adults that have lost their hair through having chemotherapy. And honestly, the systems that she makes, you would not know wasn't real hair, wasn't their real hair. They can swim in it, they can shower in it, they can brush it back. You can see the roots coming out of the skull. That it is just amazing. So please let me introduce Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Linda.
Well, obviously you do my hair all the time, but for everybody out there, can you tell us what you specialise in?
Okay, so we're what you call a hair replacement company, and we work really closely with women who've got different conditions of hair loss. This could be through alopecia, hair loss due to hormonal changes. But what we found is we're really working closely with women who are going through chemotherapy treatment. And what we try to do is recreate how their hair looked before they experienced hair loss. And this could either be done through a hair replacement system, which is where we duplicate how their hair looked in regards to matching it to colour, texture, density, but also being able to follow and mimic their natural hairline as well. Some women also like the traditional options of maybe either a synthetic wig or a human hair wig. But I don't know, I believe every woman's perception of what is natural is always different, because what's natural to one woman will always differ to what's natural to another.
So do women come in before their hair's fallen out? Like if I was about to have chemotherapy, I'd come in and say, look, my hair is going to fall out. Can you make me a wig that looks exactly as I look now?
Yeah, so the idea is that they come in as soon as possible so I can get an idea of their style, their hair texture. And because the hair replacement system is literally handmade, someone sits there and they knock one strand of hair in at a time. So wow. The process does take a while. So depending on the colour of the hair, you have to allow anything from maybe 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks for it to be made. So it is important that they do come in as soon as possible, one, so I can see them, but two, to make sure that their solution is in place at a point when they need it.
You're talking about solutions here. So
yes.
The general person, the general man in the street, woman in the street will think that that's just a wig, but that's not the case, is it? Do these systems, do they stay up? Are they actually put onto your head? How do they work?
So you were literally mimicking exactly how their hair looked, but then you're right. There are different methods of attachment, so it can be permanently attached for up to 4 weeks. They treat it exactly as they would do their own hair. The only difference is every 4 weeks, instead of going into the salon for a cut and blow dry, they'd come in and see us for what we call a regroom. And on this appointment, we remove their system, we clean their scalp, clean their system, and then we reattach it again for them. So they wear it that way throughout the whole duration of their treatment. But at the end of the treatment, we change it so they can take it on and off every day instead. So what's nice is they're able to keep their look consistent the whole way through, but it also allows them to maintain their look when they're growing their hair as well, I suppose, without putting any stress or strain on the new hair that's growing through.
So how thick are these permanent things? I mean,
it's literally a fine lace mesh netting, so it's breathable to the point. Imagine if it's raining outside or you have a shower, you will feel the water on your scalp, because it's really important whatever solution we go for is non-invasive, because it's just an interim solution for that lady while she's going through treatment. Naturally her hair will grow back, so that's why the base has to be breathable, so it won't stomp or affect the regrowth of her own hair in any way or form.
Wow.
And you were telling me that quite often women don't have it for vanity for themselves. They have it because they don't want to upset their children, or they want to carry on working.
Yeah. I think what I find really amazing about this job when you're working with women is how naturally they are so selfless, in a sense, when they should be so selfish, thinking about, what they need and what they're going through. They're actually thinking about what the impact of what they're going through is having on maybe their children, their husband, some even their parents. And I've worked with women who, one, haven't wanted to tell their children, but two, maybe their parents don't live in this country, or their parents are quite old and they don't even want their parents to know. So keeping their appearance is nothing to do with vanity. I think it's more about them having some kind of control, Linda, at quite a vulnerable time in their life, in the sense of who they tell and who they don't tell, even their appearance remains the same. But also I think that, I don't know, human nature is, if someone loves you and you're going through something, they always show, you know, empathy. And a lot of women always say to me, if I tell another person and they tilt their head to the left and say, I'm sorry to hear that, I'm going to punch them in the face, you know, because they understand it's a journey that they're going on. They want to talk about it when they want to talk about it, but the rest of the time they want to be treated as themselves. And I think that's where the hair replacement system is so amazing. And also, I think psychologically, when you look in the mirror and you recognise the person you see, it just helps you deal with the treatment a little bit more. And every woman's psychological approach to this is different. I work with women, you know, when they're happy not to wear anything at home, they may go out in the street with a turban or a hat. And then I work with other women, and you mention a hat or a turban and they get nervous because they feel that to the world shows them that I'm going through cancer, and they don't want anyone to know. And then I'll work with other women and they'll say, I don't even want to see what I look like when I lose my hair. So I think it's important when you're going through something like that in your life, when all control has been taken away from you, that it's important that you do have control over certain things. And the one thing we can help is when it comes to the appearance side of things. And
I also think when you lose, you know, for breast cancer people, for example, I mean, they lose their complete femininity. They, you know, they have their breasts removed and then their hair falls out. I mean, you know, God help. I mean, it's just so terrible. So this, to me, is like a miracle, because you're keeping their femininity. And that's what I think, that's another thing that is so vitally important, because your hair is your trademark, isn't it? You know, it's your femininity completely.
What's so great about these systems is that they can go on family holidays, they can go in the sea, they can shower, they can style their hair, and no one would ever know. And you know, you say it lasts for about 4 weeks before they have to come and have it sort of reset.
That's right. So every 4 weeks they'll come in, it'll be removed and reattached. And I always say to the clients, allow at least maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours for this appointment. What we do with our chemotherapy clients is we book all their appointments in advance for them, because once they start their treatment, they know when they're having their good days and when they're having their bad days. But also they've got so many appointments that it's just something additional. So everything's booked in advance for them over that 6 to 8 month period. So they know where they are and we're able to take care of them. Also, all the clients are given my phone number as well, because their psychological transition period is different. And I just feel when you're going through something like this, just to know that maybe there's someone on the end of the phone who can also support you when you're not sure about things is really important, and not feel there's nowhere for you to go.
You do them for children as well that are going through cancer, don't you, or that have lost their hair, so that they can remain going to school and their friends don't know?
Yes, we do. We also work with children, offering hair replacement solutions, but also custom-made wigs for them as well. I met an 11-year-old girl the other day who'd lost her hair, and it actually took her mum 4 weeks to convince her to come in and see me. And I think for girls, the world we live in anyway is really hard for them, let alone, you know, a young girl who's having to go through alopecia. And she was so frightened and she was so nervous, and it's amazing. I had one wig and it was a perfect colour for her. You know, we tried it on, I left her in the room, and within those 5 minutes of going back in, even under the mask, you could see through her eyes, you know, what an impact it had made to her. And she left, and she actually sent me a text message the other day saying that she went to school, she's not worrying about her hair as much, she's had a really good day, you know, and thank you so much. And I think hair loss is something that no matter what your age is, you know, or your lifestyle, it's such a personal thing to you. And just whether it's a wig, human hair, synthetic, or hair replacement, it's just really important that you do find the right solution for that person, you know, so you're not creating a problem in their life. So some women are happy to take it on and off every day. Others want it permanently attached. It's just listening to that client, understanding what they want, and then supporting them with the right solution.
Wow. God, you've been, honestly, you're inspirational, fantastic. And
thank you.
And thank you so much. I mean, this will help so many people. It really will. It's helped me just knowing about this, knowing that I can tell people about you, and that it's not the end of the world. It really is. And do you know what? The other thing is, I think you can save a lot of lives. I bet a lot of people don't go through to treatment because they don't want to lose their hair.
You know what? It's funny you said that. There was an article that we did, and there was a lady who actually said that, she didn't want to go through treatment because of her hair. And I think at that point, when you're maybe in hospital and you're looking at women wearing wigs, you think, is that how I'm going to look? Or you see a woman with a scarf and you think, is that how I'm going to look? It's just mentally how you see things at that point. And what I love is when a woman comes in and sees me and we show them the options, and I'm able to show them, well, these are photos of women who are going through treatment, would you ever know? And you can see almost like a weight's off their shoulders, knowing that you can still look like you whilst you're going through treatment. You can choose to tell who you want to tell. And a lot of women, a lot of them carry on with work. They are really strong and very determined, even though they're going through treatment. And I just think it's important that they do have a choice.
And of course, it's not just women. I mean, I won't name him, but I've met the guy that used to own the company years ago. And he had a big, black, thick head of hair that was swept up off his forehead. And he was going, these really good systems. I said, well, you wouldn't need one, would you? You're got really. He went, this is a system. And I went, no. And you could see it coming out. It looked like the root of his hair. And he was going like that with it, with his hands. He went, my wife doesn't even know. I couldn't even believe it. It was amazing. So it obviously works for men as well, because they obviously lose their hair through chemo as well.
It is also a very good option for men as well. And it all depends on their pattern of hair loss in regards to what solution would work best for them. But yes, it is also an option. But I think when you have to think about, when it comes to hair replacement with men's hair, if you clip your hair really, really short, you can't go as short as what you usually would do. So there may be a case of we just have to discuss what we're going to do in regards to the hairstyle. And yes, exactly the same concept could work for them as well.
Fantastic.
You are absolutely brilliant. Apart from being beautiful, what you're doing, the service you provide is brilliant. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much.
And we'll put all the details of where people can find you, because it's magical. It really is. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. God bless, ladies. Take care and keep safe.
Bye. Bye. Well, I am humbled, as you know, as I kept saying.
No, and her details are here. So please, if you know anybody that's going through treatment, it will make them feel a lot better about themselves to have a system fitted, and it's all bespoke for each person. But it's been great again, isn't it, Deb? I've learned so much today.
Yeah, me too. And now next, I don't know what we're going to do in the next episode. Who knows? Because we never do. We just, we pluck things up and pluck things up. We pluck things out of the sky.
Well, you pluck things up and you pluck things out, don't you? You tattoo them on, and
yes, I know. I see my eyebrows needing plucking as well. Everything needs doing, isn't it? I mean, honestly, bits of thick hair on your chin. I hate all that. Actually, what we should do is we should do something about threading. We should talk about threading, because threading is very interesting, and I need to be rethreaded in every possible way.
Well, that's one good thing about getting old. My moustache has disappeared. The hairs on my arms have disappeared, and they've all grown out on my chin instead. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this show, then please like and subscribe, and please follow us on Instagram.
Has anyone enjoyed this show?
I've enjoyed it, haven't you?
Yes. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube, and you can follow us on Instagram, the.beautyangels. And we will be back in a couple of weeks' time with more hints and tips and lots of fun, because we always have fun. Look after your boobs. You've only got 2, so look after yourselves and keep safe.
God bless.
Bye.